Morning guys, Mike Martin here. You know what, my little lad, he waves to me about 6 times in the morning on his way in school. I remember when I was a kid, I used to ignore everybody. Like, don't wave at me, it's embarrassing. And he's such a nice kid. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you about something a bit different today. Sorry, Mike Martin here. I don't know if I said that. I want to talk to you about something a little bit different this morning, because obviously I'm saying to you, oh, this works, but it doesn't always fit for everybody's business. So, excuse me, what I'm going to do today is talk to you about something we've got planned for our business. And just if you guys know any tricks or tips or anything like that, put them in the comments, let me know, because obviously if you've done this in the past and we haven't, then and you're going to learn something from it as well, because you're going to understand how we approach things. But if you've done it in the past, let me know what's worked, what hasn't, how you worked out the demographics and stuff like that. So we've got, for those who use Lead Simplify, you know, inside of Lead Simplify, you can type a word in, like, let's say, fucking electrician, and then you can set a radius and you can click a button and it'll scrape all the businesses off Google in that radius. So you could say electrician, click a button, 3 mile radius to London, it'll pull in all the electricians. In London you probably do smaller because it only does up to 60 at a time, and you can scrape all the businesses and it gives you the full business name, address, and all the rest of that stuff that you need. So what we're looking at doing is we're going to do some flyer marketing, right? Because what we've looked at is, especially in the UK, is you need to break it down a little bit more in the States, because you guys have got like 25,000-30,000 businesses in any industry, but over here we might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 at the most. So what we plan on doing, we're going to test it with the locksmiths, even though we've got like 700 or 800 locksmiths who buy leads and stuff like that, offers on a thing. We're doing this as a tester, and we understand their pain points and everything, because obviously we don't understand the pain points yet properly of things like electricians and roofers and things like that we're working on. But we do the locksmiths because I was a locksmith. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrape all the locksmiths in the UK from Google, right? So we're going to scrape them. We're going to go inside Lead Simplify. We're going to go through all the cities. We're going to scrape them all. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set up mail shots, right? Like flyer drops. But what we're going to do is we're going to do it like a sequence. So one of my favorite sequences is hook, story, offer. Okay, so when you send something out to somebody, you give them a hook first, and then you make them wait for the story, right? And then you make them wait for the offer. So what we're going to do is we're going to send something out, and for the locksmiths, it'll be something along the lines of, and we'll probably split test a few different versions. Sick of not being at the top of Google, hate not having leads when you're not at the top of Google, wish, obviously, there was another way for locksmiths rather than being at the top of the Google and not having business and stuff like that. So for us, the bigger, more established locksmiths, it's not as relevant for us, because most of them have kind of got a marketing budget and have got it sussed and do ads and all the rest of it. But the single one-man band businesses who are starting out as a locksmith, it's a fucking nightmare for them. It's almost impossible for them to make any money, because if they're not at the top of Google, yeah, they can't get any business. So they end up working for these guys going around picking locks on like doing contract work on set daily rates of 100, 200 quid a day, which means they can't earn a lot of money. Anyway, back to the subject. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the hook, right? Then we'll do the stuff. So we're going to send out the first flyer. Is just going to be the hook. Are you sick of this? Are you sick of this? Do you wish this was different? Would you like a solution? Look out for the next flyer that we're going to drop through your door in a few days time, right? So they're going to be like, anyone who reads it's going to be like, what the fuck? There's no point to that flyer, but obviously they're going to want to know what's coming next. After that, we're then going to do the story structure. So we could use my story, or we could use the story of any of our clients that's been successful who we've worked with. So it's a case of saying, meet Mike. He was a struggling locksmith. So my story structure, just so you know, and this is important. So remember the structure of this. The story structure I use whenever I approach anything, I want to convince somebody that what they're doing at the minute needs to come over to what we're doing, because it's going to do better. Is I always find a story that fits this. Okay, so meet Mike. He was a locksmith, really struggling to make money. So meet Mike, this is what he wanted to achieve. He wanted to be a successful locksmith. Okay, he tried by doing this, which is the status quo, the way everybody else does it. He failed because of this, which is the status quo, the main reason people fail, right? He then found out about this, which is what we're offering to do. He started doing it this way, which is the new way we're telling him. Now his life looks like this. He's now making fucking shitloads of money. He's now dead happy. He's got a fortune. It's got to be true, okay? But so he tried by doing this. He failed because of this, status quo. Sorry, he wanted to achieve this. You have to say what he wanted to achieve at the beginning. He wanted to achieve this. Tried by doing this, the status quo. He failed because of this, the status quo. Okay. He then moved on. He then found this. Okay, this is guiding your story. He then found this. and now he does it this way, and now he's making a success. So what we're going to do is, the hook is going to be sick of not being at the top of Google, sick of struggling to make money, sick of all the shit that locksmiths are sick of, the biggest pain points. Okay, but we're not going to fill it, we're going to have it as a big flyer. We'll look out for our next flyer in a few days, we'll explain. Then we're going to tell them the story. This is Mike, he did this is his story. So he started out and he wanted to be a successful locksmith. He realised that it really hard because he was doing this the same as everyone else. He wanted to be at the top of Google, he couldn't. He's trying to compete with all the big businesses. He had to have either sell out or he had to struggle. He come across this, which is what we're going to offer. Now he does this and he's receiving 500 leads a month and he's making shitloads of money and he has nothing to worry about. If this is something you're interested in, we're going to open something up for new clients, because we can only take on a limited number for the next for these dates, and then we'll have a website specifically built for this specific marketing campaign to that specific niche. Okay, and then we'll send out 2 more flyers saying, you know that this is open from now to now, don't forget, blah blah blah, it's your last chance to get in. And we'd have like a brief overlay, and then we'll do a bigger flyer that covers all the subjects, the hook, the story, the offer, and explains this is your deadline date. If there's any chance you want to get in, you need to dive in now. And we're going to test that over the next few weeks, because the kids are off school for 6 weeks, so you won't hear as much from me on here, but I'll feed back to you how it went and how we did. But also, if you've got any tips or any tricks or any way that you've dealt with it in the past, or any way that you've done like flyer drops and it's worked, how you break down the demographics, how you find the right businesses, stuff like that, it'd really help. I thought, you know what, rather than me just trying to, I mean, hopefully the story and the structure and that and the hook story offer thing helps people, but rather than me always talking and trying to help so much, there's a lot more smarter guys listening to my channel than me. So what I'm thinking is, maybe you guys could help me a little bit and come back with some tips or some tricks that I can use, and that way we help one another. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and whether you think this trick will work, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers guys, bye bye.